finna get your ass the game, man. You know I break it down. Come on, man, you know it's Bane.
An uptrend.
No. If we were making lower lows and lower highs.
Oh,
What
a
kind
downtrend.
Okay, so watch this. You're looking at this market structure right now, Ro, and I'm telling you this is a downtrend. What do you say to that?
You're gonna be losing money because you're supposed to be taking a buy.
Okay, but I'm telling you this is a downtrend. But this is what you see on the chart. But I'm telling you, it's a downtrend. Not me as Bane teaching you. I'm just some random person, and I'm just saying, hey, that's a downtrend. But you're seeing this. What are you saying to that person?
Trend.
Say it again.
That is an uptrend.
Okay, but it's a downtrend.
It's a bull run.
But it's a downtrend.
You're gonna be in the negative.
All right.
You're gonna be losing money.
So what I was doing just now is trying to get you to say that it was a downtrend. Okay, ladies, y'all gonna have a lot of people that you probably get in the mix with, and they're gonna be analyzing the chart with you. Ro, you're gonna see that this is an uptrend, and you're gonna know for a fact that it's an uptrend because it's making higher highs and higher lows. But if along comes a spider and they're like, no, that's a downtrend, but you know it's an uptrend, you need to stand on business. No. You're wrong, sir. It's clearly making higher highs and higher lows. Do you not see that? Do you want me to illustrate it for you? Look, here's the higher high, here's the higher low, here's the higher high, here's the higher low. How can we be in a downtrend if we're making higher highs and higher lows? All right, that was just a little test for you to stand on business with what you see. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Mm-hmm.
Don't let people knock you off your rocker, right? Don't let them convince you of things that aren't what it is. Okay, this is why we do the training. This is why we do the education. This is why I pop quiz you guys. This is why I give you homework. This is why I show you so many things to make you understand that you know what it is. You can't be fooled, right? If you don't know nothing about crypto, somebody can scam you. But if you know about crypto, how can you be scammed? Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a thin line with that, but y'all get where I'm going. You understand what I'm saying? Know what it is so that nobody else can, try to get you to say that it's not that, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? So really understand what you're looking at and really believe this is what it is, right? Because it is what it is, right? I can't give you this, I can't say, we can't look at, a dog, right? And then call it an alligator. You know what I mean? Like, don't let people do that to you. All right. So again, what are you looking at here on this chart, Ro? What kind of market structure are you looking at?
Uptrend because of the higher highs and higher lows.
No, it's a downtrend.
Market structure shows a higher high and a higher low.
But no, it's a downtrend.
You gonna take the sale, you're gonna be losing money. I'm gonna take a buy, I'm gonna be making money.
You see, I'm getting on you. You know what I mean? But I'm just trying to see if you're gonna stick with this is an uptrend. I want to hear, nah, Bane, you tripping. This an uptrend. You can say it's a downtrend all you want to, but it's an uptrend. Okay? You see what I'm saying? Like where I'm trying to get you to look at on how to look at this. Like, don't, if it's clear and obvious to you, don't let people confuse you. When a lot of people go into a lot of discourse, a lot of groups, a lot of channels. Leonie, maybe you can speak to this, but sometimes you're looking at the same thing and everybody's looking at it all differently. You know what I mean? Somebody sees a 6, somebody sees a 9, right? But what do you see? Okay, because what you see is what's going to matter, right? They're not going to take the trade for you, and if they make money, they're not going to put it in your account, right? Or what, the saying, like, what you eat doesn't make another person crap, right? So stick to what you know, stick to your guns. All right. So no matter how much somebody's telling you this is a downtrend, if it's making higher highs and higher lows, what are you going to tell them?
It's an uptrend.
That's it. Okay. So I'm sorry, I put some little, sideness on that, but I'm just doing this to make sure that you guys don't stray away from clear and obviousness on the chart. All right, guys, don't let nobody mix you up when you know that it's up or you know that it's down. All right. So again, this is called market structure, and we're looking at uptrend market structure. Uptrend market structure is made up of higher highs and higher lows, right? We break this high, we get a higher high. We form this V shape and get this swing, we get a higher low. Break the high, higher high. Higher high. Come back and make the V shape, higher low, right? That's how this goes. Then when we incorporate support and resistance, right? Because again, this was a level of resistance where price came this high, but then it fell. So price is now below this zone, right? And then it breaks it. It became support, comes back to it, respects it as support. We get into a buy, we make all this money. And Leone, you said it best. We buy low and we sell high. So when you understand this market structure good enough, you can buy on what we call the run. This is the run where it goes in the direction that you want it to go in. The pullback phase is when it goes in the opposite direction of where you want it to go in. So again, I'm going to say that one more time and I'm going to quiz you guys. The run phase, again, it has a few names, right? But just the main one is run. And the pullback phase, 2 phases of market structure. 2 phases, only 2. The run, where it goes in your direction, right? This is the uptrend, so price is going up. That's the run phase. The pullback phase is when it goes against, it goes in the opposite direction of where you want it to go. It's going down, right? But you want it to go up because we're in an uptrend. So here's the pullback. What's the next phase? The run phase. What's the next expected phase? The pullback phase. What's the next phase? The run phase. What's the next phase? The pullback phase. These phases are expected if we're going to continue in a uptrend. Does that make any sense, ladies?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me bring it back to, okay, it's going to erase a lot more, but that's fine. All right. So we're in a higher high, right? So that means we did the run up because it went in our direction in this uptrend. What is the next phase, Leone?
Show me there again.
Yep. So we did the run phase where we went up because it's going in our direction of the uptrend. It's going up. It's going where we want it to go. And it broke this high and made a higher high. What is the next phase of this market structure that we should expect to happen?
The pullback phase.
And what happens in the pullback phase? Price goes in what direction?
The opposite.
Of where you want it to go. Okay, so that's right. If you're wanting price to go up because you know that you're in an uptrend, the pullback phase is going to go down, okay, in the opposite direction to complete that phase so that you can now get a higher what created?
A higher low.
That is correct. Because it will turn, but it's only a higher low once you get that V shape. All right, that's very important. That's a very key part, right? Until price is just dropping, but it never turns around and gives you that V shape. All right, that little V shape right here, right? Then it's not, you can't consider it a higher low just yet. Okay, that V shape is very, very important, ladies. That's how you even identify the structure. Okay, so. But you're right on the answer. We're going to create that higher low. So if this is the pullback phase and we're starting to make this V shape, what's the next phase that we should expect?
The run phase.
Okay, and the run phase, it should go in what direction if we're in an uptrend?
Upwards.
Okay. So if it broke this, then what is this?
A higher high.
That is absolutely correct. What was this phase right here? When we went up, what was that phase?
The run phase.
So what's next?
The pullback.
Okay. Oh. But you are correct. Okay, now I'm going to quiz you. Do we have a higher low? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Wrong. What made you say yes?
That it's not a high or low. Oh, you didn't mark it yet.
Well, no, that's not it. But I know why you said yes, but I want to know, do you know why you said yes? That I said, do we have a higher low? You said yes. Why did you say yes, we have a higher low?
Because it's above the previous low.
That's
It's
correct.
still above the previous low.
That's right. But you know what it didn't do yet?
No, I don't know.
It did not make the V shape.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Are you with me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you again. Do we have a higher low?
Not yet.
Why not?
Because it didn't make the V shape.
Okay, so do we have a higher low now?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, ladies, these are simple little things, just like that, that will cause you to win or lose a trade. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because here, when I asked you, did we have a higher low right here? You said yes, but guess what? There was no V shape, so price can still keep dropping. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So you had no buying opportunity, but because you said that this was a higher low, you bought. So you bought right here, and then price kept falling, and you lost, right? It hit your stop loss because you thought that it was supposed to go up, but no bulls ever showed up. And again, that's on the checklist, right? Oh well, it's not on this, but I think let me see, maybe it's lower. Okay, I think I might have erased it. Or it might be on a different pair. But regardless, did that make any sense to you? You know what I mean? I want to make sure you got that, because again, that's just a critical part. All right, did you get that?
Yeah, you should have gotten in for a sell.
Well, not that you should have gotten in for a sell, because you don't really have downtrend market structure yet. Do you understand? Like we just broke, and this, man, you you guys are almost making me want to go high level tonight. But when we came down, we did break this higher low. We got below that higher low. So this makes this, and again, you answered this earlier. This makes this a new low. Okay, but it doesn't make it a downtrend, right? Just so you guys know, here is when you have an official downtrend, when you have a lightning bolt, and this goes for the uptrend too. So official downtrend is when you got a run, a pullback, and a run, lightning bolt. You have a high, you have a low, you have a lower high, and you have a lower low. When you see this, now you are in a downtrend. But with this just coming down, you only have the low. So what you need to see is this, and then this. There is your lightning bolt. So now you have your high, you have your low, you have your lower high, and you have your lower low. Now you can start looking for sells because you have an official downtrend now. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm with you. That big push down, it would entice most people to sell, right? That's why you always hear of the term FOMO, fear of missing out. It's
I
because,
have that.
and it just showed itself. You just showed it with,
Yeah, is it obvious?
you see what I'm saying? And Leonie, listen to me, okay? When you can spot your problems, you can fix them. This is a easy fix. Here is the fix, Leonie. You need to know how to read market structure. If you see that price is falling but there is no downtrend. You had no downtrend. You had no lower highs and lower lows that were created, Leonie. You shouldn't be selling. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. And I'm telling you, just that little correction in an issue that you had with FOMO is going to make you a millionaire. You're going to say, okay, wait a minute, price is falling, but we have no lower highs and no lower lows to confirm to me that we're in a downtrend. We're not in downtrend market structure. We're just falling. Okay, we did break this higher low, but I need to see that we make this lower high. So once it makes that, again, patience, waiting. All right, there's somewhere, you know, I made the note, everything's wait, capital letters, right? Waiting for price to make that lower high, and then waiting for it also to make that lower low. Because here's your run phase going down, all right, in the downtrend. Here's your pullback. Here's your run. What's your next phase, Leonie?
It should be a run.
No. We just did the run. So again, hear me
Oh,
out. Run, pullback, run. What's the next phase? I didn't hear you.
pullback.
Okay, here we go. So there's the pullback. Now, do we have a lower high? Yes or no? Again, great question.
That didn't make the V shape yet.
Let's go. Let's go. So do we have a lower high? Yes or no?
Not yet.
Okay, that's absolutely right. So what about now? Do we have a lower high? Yes or no?
Now you have it.
Okay. Do you think you should sell right now? Yes or no?
No,
Why not?
because it's still in an uptrend.
No, we're in a downtrend now.
Oh, I don't know.
You should sell. You should sell. So in the buying, we buy from the higher lows, okay? Because we know that the pullback phase is over. So when it creates that V shape, it's going to do a run and it's going to go in our direction. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So then on the flip side, when we're in a downtrend and it creates, we sell from the high, right? So if we're falling, this is the run where we're falling, right? Then we come up here and we make this lower high. That's the pullback. We know the next phase is the run where it falls. So the lower highs are where we want to sell from. Okay. The lower highs are where we want to sell from because we understand that in a downtrend market structure, we got our run, our pullback, our run, our pullback. So how do we catch the runs? Because that's the direction when it's going down. How do we catch the runs? Well, we catch them once we get our pullback. We get the pullback, the V shape, sell it, and then watch you make money. Okay, ladies, is this making any sense? And I know it's a lot, you know what I mean, especially for one day, one night, or what have you, right? We didn't really break this up into different segments, right? We typically will, you know, dedicate a whole session to either support and resistance, either market structure, either candles, et cetera, right? I kind of gave you guys a lot on, you know, each one of them, but is this making any sense? Is this anything that you guys did not know before? And again, do you guys have any kind of questions around it so far?
Yeah, it makes sense. And a question I had before when I was doing this, when I was marking charts and support and resistance lines, is um, what you just explained, the above and below, and it becoming a new zone. And that's when you know it becomes a new zone. It wasn't really explained to me before, like you explained it. So thanks. It just like all that came together.
There we go. Light bulbs coming on. I love it. And let me give you a little extra, a little something with support and resistance. All right. Let me give you what qualifies an area for support and resistance. All right. So here with support and resistance, you want at least 2 touches minimum. Okay. All right. You also want it to drastically, however you spell that, drastically move away. So you want to have a drastic move from the zone. All right. You also want it to act as both, or have acted as both, support and resistance at some point. Okay. Let me see. All right. So at least 2 touches, drastically move away from the zone, acted as both support and resistance. If you can spot this on the chart with the candles, it's what qualifies your zones to be support or resistance. Okay, let me give you a quick drawing. All right, so we have resistance and then we have support here. So here is our resistance. Okay, so when I say at least 2 touches, if you see candles have gone up and touched here, and then it touched it again, now you have a resistance level. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But it needs to be at least 2 touches. So if you only have this, okay, that's not a strong resistance level. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? It's still resistance, but it's not the one that will. So when price comes back up to it, there's chances that it can, get through. Okay. When you see this, it's showing you, hey, it came here, reject, push him down. Came back here again, reject, push it down. So again, the more touches, the more valid that zone is. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, these are what are going to qualify your support and resistance levels. So when you're looking at a chart and you're seeing these candles, you want to say, okay, I want to put a resistance line right here, but let me see how many times how many touches do I have in that zone? If it's more than 2, that is a very valid resistance zone. Okay. So that's number one. Number 2, you get up to the zone and then it moves drastically away. You see right here, it got up to the zone, but it only went halfway, right? It only went to right here. Versus when it was here, it went all the way down. Okay. So if you got a zone like that, so, you're getting this, boom, 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 boom. Every time it reaches resistance, it drastically drops down. You understand what I'm saying to you? Versus just coming down just a little bit and doing whatever, right? So if you get multiple touches and you get it to move drastically away from when it touches that zone, these are qualifying this resistance zone as a more powerful, more valid resistance zone. Is this making sense?
So are they both still considered consolidating?
Which one? Oh,
The
so
ones
like you
that
mean, yeah. So for what I'm drawing out right now, yes, this is consolidating, and even this is consolidating, because you know why? That was a great question too. The reason why these are all consolidating is because you're not seeing downtrend market structure. You're not seeing uptrend market structure. You're seeing consolidation market structure. Make sense?
mm-hmm.
Okay. But that was a good, thing to point out with this. But Leonie, are you following me with what's making your support and resistance areas valid, or more key areas, more stronger, support and resistance areas? Is this making
Yeah.
any sense? Okay. And
Yeah, it
so
makes sense.
now the last piece of that puzzle that really validates it is what we had right here in this drawing, where I said, this question was for Ro, right? And she was like, I asked her, hey, this zone right here, is it support or resistance? And she was like, oh, well, if we're looking at the higher high and the higher low from here, then it was resistance. But if we're looking at the second set of the higher highs and higher lows, then it was support, because the candles were above it over here, and over here the candles were below it. And she was absolutely right. So this one zone didn't move. I didn't move the zone. The zone stayed here. Price just went through the zone and turned it from resistance to support, with the way that it respected it when it got to, when it came back to here and then took off again. So this zone is mommy and daddy at the same time. It acted as mommy over here as resistance, and then it acted as daddy over here as support. So whenever you get an area where price acted as both support and resistance, it makes it a strong area. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, it'll be a situation like this. We break out of resistance, okay? And then we come back to respect it as support and then rise up. So look, right here is where it acted as resistance. And then right here is where it acted as support. But it is the same zone. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It makes sense.
Okay, so those three things, if you can spot those when you're trying to find your support and resistance, Leonie, you're going to start to say, holy shit, I'm starting to see something here, right? Where this whole concept of support and resistance is making sense, right? Candles being below the zone is resistance. Candles being above the zone is support. When they break, they turn into the opposite of whatever they were before. So if it was resistance and it gets broken, it now becomes support, right? If it respects it, right? If it respects it and gives that V shape, because it can still come back in, and now, you know, that zone can't be support anymore because it was never respected as support. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But I have
Yeah.
a question that might be too complicated. Do you count the wicks? Do you count to the wick touching it or the candle body touching it?
Very good question. Great question. Okay. So most of the time you're going to see, hold on, let me get rid of this. Okay. Actually, I'm going to erase the drawings, guys. I want to show you the actual candles because it'll be better for you to see it that way. All right, here we go. All right. So here's a zone, or a level rather, right here. All right. And I'm putting it there because I got this touch and I got this touch. Remember, the minimum of 2 touches. Okay. So that's my resistance zone. And what you see is, you see how your wicks are on there, right? So you're asking, well, does it matter if the wicks are rejecting that zone, or does it have to be the body of the candle that rejects the zone? It can be both, but if you get the wicks, that's better. Okay, because if you remember what we were learning about candles, right? The wicks below the candles or above the candles represent either bullish pressure or bearish pressure, depending on where, you know, if we're talking above or below. So if we break this resistance zone, okay, and then we come back and we reject it with a long wick, and then we, you know, we get our bull candles to come up, that wick qualifies it as a rejection of that zone, making it support. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Thanks.
You got it. So again, the wicks are way better to go off of as rejection, but when you want to get that, when you want that V shape, you need the body of the candle to close above it to confirm that it's support. You know what I mean? Because the wick rejection tells you, okay,
Oh, okay.
yes, the wick rejection tells you that the bears tried to push it back underneath the zone, but the bulls stopped them from doing that. So now if we can get the bulls, if we can get a bull candle to close above the zone, now that zone is confirmed as support. Okay, the wick is showing that it's being respected, but it's not confirmed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So this is where, again, tiny little things like this is where people don't have enough patience to wait for the bulls to show up and the candles to close, so that this zone is confirmed as support and they can get in for a buy and make money. Some people are seeing the wick rejection and they're like, oh, the bulls are rejecting this area. You know, the bulls are showing up. Okay, well, I'm going to buy it. But then the candle never closes as a bull candle, and it never closes above support. So now they're in a buy, but price is still falling. Guys, I'm telling y'all, little things. It's the little things that make you profitable with trading. Okay, waiting for candle closes, waiting for confirmations, getting into good quality setups, not trading anything and everything. You know, the time that you trade, you know, that matters too, but not as much as, you know, the setup. The setup matters more than anything, right? They say you can't trade on Sundays. Today's Sunday, right? It's about 7, 8 o'clock. and they say you can't trade on Sundays. I can show you a trade right now that's probably making money on a Sunday at this time, right? They say don't trade on Fridays because, you know, it's low volatility, low liquidity, everything else in between. We've made money on Friday. We just made money on Friday on the indices, right? You get into my Discord, you'll see all of it, right? So it's not about the days of the week, guys. It's about the setup, right? It doesn't matter if you meet that quality man in the alley, okay? If he's a quality man, he's a quality man, right? Y'all just happen to meet in the alley, right? It doesn't change him from being a quality man just because y'all met in the alley. Do you understand what I'm saying, guys? It's about the setup. It's about the quality. It's about understanding that you are able to identify the trend. You're able to know what you should be doing in that trend, right? Buying or selling, right? It's knowing what phase of the trend you're in, the run or the pullback, because we never buy on the run or we never sell on the run. We always buy off the pullback or sell off the pullback, right? It's simple little things. We wait for candle closing or candles to close to get confirmation that we want to buy or sell. Is any of this making any sense, ladies? Like, you know, does it, do
Yeah,
you guys feel like you're getting like somewhere? You know what I mean? Again, I know one day, you know, can't get it all, right? And there's so much more to cover. But how do you ladies feel? Like, you know, talk to me, let me know.
that was a good that was good. Thanks.
You got it. You got it, Ro. How you feeling?
Just learning. Just
Okay.
learning.
Okay. All right. So ladies, I will bid you ladies adieu. Again, don't forget to email me for the recording and just come on over in the Discord and you'll see, right? Get that account for the demo. That way, you know, you can at least just pull up a pair, right? Do the Euro USD and, you know, I'll tell you guys, hey, hit buy or hit sell, right? And then we'll, you know, we'll just see what that looks like. And you guys, you know, the real beauty of it is that you'll see what your demo account looks like and you'll be like, holy shit, you know what I mean? Is this possible? Can this be my real account? You know what I mean? Can I really do this? And before you know it, you will be doing it and it will be a real account. And you'll be glad, you know, you made the decision. So again, rock with me, ladies. All right. But any other questions, comments, concerns, anything?
I got a few questions.
Okay. I'm with
So y'all, or I'm not gonna say y'all, the
you. Mhm.
Discord trades as like a group.
So I mainly call out the trades. All right. We have live trading on Tuesdays and Thursdays, every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So that might be 8 your time or 8 or 7 o'clock your time. But we do Tuesdays and Thursdays every night at 9 p.m. And that's where we're trading live, right? So again, it's mainly orchestrated by me, but you know, my members also would see different pairs that they've been looking at that we'll take a look at and we'll see about getting into trades on those pairs. So it's not solely me giving you every single trade, right? You know, it's collectively when we're trading live, but in the Discord itself, I'm the only one calling out the trades. Now, my members will also post trades that they're getting in, but they're not, you know, they're not tagged as the official trade. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's if you like what you see from them and you want to take the trade, by all means, you know what I mean? It's your prerogative. You can do what you want to do. You know what I mean? But trades that I'm officially calling that I want everyone to take, those will be designated as official, you know, the official trade call. And you'll see it, you know, it's really distinctive. And, you know, the way I type it up and everything like that, you know, this is the official trade that I'm telling everybody to get into, right? You know what I mean? But I have good traders in there. You know what I mean? So if they call out a trade, if you understand what you need to understand and you look at their chart markup and you look at the trade that they're getting in and it all makes sense to you, you know, by all means, take their trade. But, you know, one of the main things that a lot of traders don't have, especially new ones, is accountability, right? You know, you know, women, y'all run from that anyway, but you know, let me just get onto it. You know, this is fellas also, you know, they don't have that accountability for knowing that they're doing something by chance, right? You know, they're just doing it just because. And then when they lose, right, they're not blaming themselves. Do you understand what I'm saying? Oh, you know, why you gave me that trade or why did you do this and why did you do that? But you pressed the button, Okay, so you have to be, in that, state of accountability, if you're going to be taking trades from anyone, without knowing exactly what it is that you're doing, right? You don't want to get into that cycle, right, of just taking trades just to take them, right? You want to, I asked, earlier, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to get rich or do you want to learn, right? And my man, say that he want to learn, and when you do that, you will get rich. So if you're just coming in here to just take trades, again, I'm going to keep it funky with you. That's not the way to go. All right, it's not the way to go. Now, if you're doing it in a demo account, again, by all means, that's not hurting anything. But if you are deciding that you're going to do this on your live account, I highly recommend you come to the classes. I highly recommend, you let me quiz you, right? You back test with me, you do certain things to where I can see you understand how to read the charts, what's going on. So if there's any trade that you happen to take, you know why you're taking it. You know the possibilities of you losing it and you winning it, and it all makes sense, right? Versus you just, shooting at the hip and taking anything that comes across because you just want to trade, because you just want to see, if you're going to make money. You don't really know why you're doing it. That's not how you want to go about it's not how you want to go about this. All right, so just throwing that out there. But ultimately, yeah, the trades will come from me. My members will call out some if you feel like taking them, but in the live trading, right, we all are getting into trades from whatever we happen to see. It's not just me calling whatever it is. So does that answer your question?
Yeah. And what days do you um hmm,
Teach
yeah.
Sundays. So only Sundays are training, and that's at 4 p.m. Eastern time every Sunday. And just so you guys know, so I probably had this Discord for maybe 2 years or so. Might be a little longer, might be 3 years, but um, I have recordings from the beginning of time. So if you guys aren't necessarily able to make the 4 p.m. Eastern time classes on Sunday, just request access to one of the recordings from previous days, and you guys can see what that's like, right? And you can watch it on any time that you want to. One of the things that I do, and again, this is just my personal thing, right? But I watch a lot of videos on 2x, right? So if a video is an hour, it's really like 30 minutes for me, right? You know what I mean? Because I can listen fast, and I can take notes, and then obviously you can pause and rewind and do what you got to do in case you miss something. But that's just something that I do in case to take more, get my time, you know what I mean? So I don't have to spend a whole hour, trying to dissect whatever was in there. And again, if you can, if you're able to listen fast and do things like that, then I recommend, you listen to it on a faster speed, but you don't have to, you know what I mean? It's just something that I do. But I'm just letting you guys know that all the recordings are there, all the live trainings are there, and they're detailed. So, I put what we went over, what was learned, everything. So you can just read the recording and say, oh, okay, yeah, I want to learn about Fibonacci. Okay, yeah, I want to learn about this. I want to know about that. And you click on that recording, I'll give you access, and, watch it on your own time and, figure it all out. But more importantly, try to be as active as you can when you're confused and when you got questions, right? If you're trying to figure it out all on your own, you probably can, but it's just going to take some time. It's going to take a lot longer than it would have if you just, hopped in the chat and was like, yo, guys, what the hell is this? How am I supposed to go about this and that, right? And before you know it, everybody's hopping in with answers and solutions to, the point the light bulb comes on right away. And now, you guys just fly, right? I got a bunch of people that, they came in and they just hit the ground rolling. You know what I mean? And again, Leonie, I can tell, you got that analyticalness about you, right? And again, you can even call it skepticism to some degree, right? Where, you don't believe this is happening or that's happening or that makes sense. And that's a good thing. You know what I mean? Because that doesn't set, you don't set yourself up for failure, right? You're the type of person where once you know what you need to know, okay, now you can rock and roll. And I'm the same way. So again, it's just, I get it, guys. Trust and believe in me. All right. I done been through everything that you guys are ever going to go through. So please don't hesitate to, ask me. There's no stupid question. All right. If you guys don't ask the question, you're just not going to get paid. right? It's just what it is, all right? If you don't try to understand it, you're not. And, you know, that's a waste of your time. You know what I mean? It's very, very, you know, it's time to have something like this in your back pocket, period. Right. And I mean, yes, I wish I had it the way I have it now back in 2016, but you know, it's better late than never. You know what I mean? Because now I'm at a position where I could really, you know, do some very, you know, mind-blowing things in terms of accomplishing, you know, things for my family. You see what I'm saying? So guys, it's real. Okay. Don't get, you know, discouraged by, oh, Forex is a scam and, you know, people doing this and people doing that. Like my man Kev said, you guys are in good hands. Okay. I'm gonna school y'all to whatever it is that y'all need to know so that y'all don't get scammed. Right. But you know, I don't feel like you ladies are the type anyway, right? At least the vibes that I'm getting from how you guys are answering and responding, you know, you don't just fall for anything. So you know, I highly doubt any scam is gonna be going on, but just ultimately, you know, stay as active as you can, and you ladies will be surprised, right? You know, March, 3 months to roll around and y'all will be getting to it like y'all been doing it forever. So yeah. Anything else? Leonie, any other questions, or you were good for your questions?
I don't have any other questions right now.
All right, cool. And Ro, you good? Or you got more? Do
I
Ro
got
got
another
more?
one.
All right. It's cool.
So,
It's cool.
um, how long have you been teaching on Sundays?
Yeah, 2 years, maybe 3.
Oh, okay. Okay, wait. And you said if we wanted the recording, we got to email you. But then, what did you want us to do with the Discord one more time?
So yeah, so what I was saying, for this recording, you can email me, right? But if you're in the Discord, there's a section where I keep all the recordings, and all you have to do is click on the link to the recording and it'll say, hey, do you want to access this recording? You'll say, yes, I want access. I'll get a notification that you want access, and then I'll just give you the access. So you don't have to necessarily email me for each recording that you want access to. That's the beauty of being in the Discord. You know what I mean? But because I don't know whether or not you guys were in the Discord, is why I told you to email me for this recording so that I can make sure that I get it to you guys. But when you're in the Discord, there's a section for all the recordings, there's a section for all the live trading, and anything that, you know, is, you know, in the realm of education or training, you know, my members have access to request whatever it is that they, you know, want access to, from way back to you know, all the way up till now. So that's the difference.
Okay, no, that wasn't the question. The question is, you told me, well, it was before when you was talking to, I don't remember his name, but the gentleman who was with us not too long ago. You
Hmm.
said, um, you said something about a newbie,
Um,
not Kev, the one who's been in.
yeah,
Uh,
I know. And Trail, Montreal, I think it's
yeah,
but yeah, I said something about a newbie. So I know I was talking about a lot of mistakes that newbies make. But I'm not sure what were you thinking? Like, what was it along the lines of more with newbies? Was I telling him to access something, or was
yeah.
I telling him something not to do?
No, you said,
Oh, I told him to post in the newbie channel. I think that's what you're getting at. Was that it? So I told him when he gets in the Discord to post in the newbie channel so that I would have his name in the Discord, because he said he was in the Discord already, but I don't know what his, you know what I mean? I want to give him access to this, but I don't know what his actual username is in the Discord. So I
mm-hmm.
told him to post in the newbie channel, or it's the channel's called newbie chat. So in that channel, in the Discord is where all my, all the new members can chat in and, just get familiar with everything and try to get acquainted with, setting themselves up and things like that. So if he wrote in that channel, I can see his username and then I can get him access to the recording. You know what I mean? That's what that was about.
And then the demo accounts, what exactly is that?
So click on the link. I'm gonna look in the chat and I'm gonna post it really quick here. All right, so that's the link. So click on that. And are you on the computer or no?
No, I'm on my phone right
Okay.
now.
All right, it'll still come up. It'll still come up and you'll be able to see it. So that's still okay. You can do that. Okay, let me know when you see it. It is better on the computer though.
Okay, yeah, I had just pulled it up.
Okay, so you'll see that it's asking for your name, your email, your phone number, and then it has a checkbox for you to check. It says, I agree with the terms, so opening this account, and then it says open demo account. That green button is what you have to press. You can put a fake name, right? You know what I mean? You don't have to really, I don't expect you to try to manage this account like it was actually, tied to your broker, right? So like, there's a couple of brokers that we can use, and I'm sure you guys have heard of it. If you guys are trading options or doing any other kind of trading, right? There's brokers that allow you to trade the Forex market, and what have you. And in those brokers, they offer you a demo account along with the trading account. You just have to, open it up. But this is just, it's a demo account that you can have without really needing a broker, right? So it's just something that you can use to kind of test out, what it's like to get into trades, what it's like to mark up the charts, right? You know what I mean? What it's like to switch and pull up different pairs and things like that. Some of the basic functionality of what you'll be doing on a consistent basis once you decide, okay, this is what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to give this Forex thing a shot. So what do I do? Well, you got to find out, who's your broker, who you're going to, use to give you the access to trade Forex. You're going to have to open up a live account with them. You're going to have to you don't have to open up the demo account, but you can open up a demo account with them. And then, you can test out the strategies. You can test out the things that I'm teaching. You can test out the things that you're learning, right, in the demo account. And then when you feel confident enough to go over to the live account, well, then you switch over to your live account, you deposit some money in there, and then you start taking, real trades, right? You know what I mean? So this demo one that I sent, again, it's just allowing you to do that without really necessarily being tied to any broker, right? And without really having to give like your real personal information, right? You know what I mean? So it's just a way for you to like kind of get your feet wet a little bit, and see what the possibilities are, because that's what really makes everybody a believer, right? You don't believe that this can change your life right now because you haven't really made any money, right? Well, at least, just me throwing it out there, I don't know for sure, but, you haven't made that money that, you made more this month than you made with your job, right? You know what I mean? You haven't made that money where, you've been able to pay off some debt, right? You haven't made that kind of money where, you can, not work so many hours at your job, those kind of things, so once you get to that level, you start feeling a little different about the possibilities that this gives you. And then when you really, go down the rabbit hole, it's really no turning back. Like, you're going to give this your all, because this is where you can really get the freedom. You know what I mean? We talk about it a lot, and I'm sure you guys, if you ever told me anything about, your personal life, right? And I don't expect you to, but I'm just saying, there's probably so much going on that you just want a way out. This is a way out, but you just got to take it serious. That's that.
I have a question on that note. As far
Yeah.
as taking it, how many days a week as I work Monday through Friday. So
Mhm. How much time would you need to dedicate to this, or when?
yeah, I'm trying to see if I can arrange my schedule
Okay.
in a
Do
way that
do
will
you
be
work
more helpful. But
do you work mornings or nights?
I work from like 11 to 8 and sometimes a little later, but it doesn't have to be.
Okay, so that is going to be rough, because my live trading is at 9. Are you on the East Coast?
Yeah,
Okay, so yeah, my live training is at 9, and we do that. It's scheduled for 9 to 10, but a lot of times, we'll go over the time. It just depends on, what we're doing. It's not set in stone that we're going to end exactly at 10. Um, but that may be a little rough for you because, if you do you have kids?
no, not yet.
Okay, well then you won't have to necessarily, give them the time and everything like that, get dinner ready and all that stuff. But um, you know, the live trainings you'll probably be able to make, but um the live trainings, like, on Sundays like today, are you working on the weekend also, or is that, a better time
I
where you
can
can?
make it. I can
Okay.
make Sundays.
Okay, so here's what you really want to be looking at in terms of, what time do you want to dedicate to this? How many days a week do you want to dedicate to this? And I'm going to be honest with you, okay? You want to do every single day. Now, I know that may not sound realistic, right? Given whatever your circumstances are, okay? But what I mean is you need to at least get get the demo account open. You need to at least watch some training material that I have in the Discord. So again, you can do that on the weekend, you could do that late at night, maybe you could do it early in the morning, right? Before working everything. But I'm gonna say like at least an hour a day, just an hour a day. Dedicate that time to coming in, watching a video, um, looking at the resources, asking questions, coming to the live training, coming to the live trading, and, just making sure that every day you dedicate at least that 1 hour. And before you know it, right, you're going to get into actually taking trades. But the thing about the taking trades, I won't have you looking at the charts all day and night, right? You know what I mean? I'm going to teach you how to, because that's how I was, right? I started out where was working crazy hours, and I didn't have the time to focus on the charts the way that I needed to in the beginning, right? As a newbie. So, I would swing trade it, right? I would get into a trade from a higher time frame, and I would let that trade play out all week. So if I took it on Monday, I wouldn't check it till Friday, right? And to see what it did. And that may be the best situation for you as well. But again, you won't really know until you test it all out. But if you're just looking to figure out how to squeeze this into what you got going on, I'm telling you, the more you can put some time in, right, on a consistent basis, the quicker you're going to get to the next level, and the quicker you're going to start trading and start making money. So again, at least an hour, right? Learn about the basics. I got it all lined up, right? It's in, alphabetical order, if you will, with, hey, learn this, learn that, learn this, learn that, right? All the resources are there. And again, you got the team, right? It's a team. So you're never going to be alone. You're never going to be trying to like wonder what the heck, that kind of thing. But you just got to give it the time, right, guys? And again, I mean, you guys can listen to my songs. I've kind of bared out all in the songs, but this stuff is really, if you're gonna get in, you got to get in. You know what I mean? If you're like, I don't really know if I'm ready yet, and I don't really know if this is something that I really want to do, then ladies, don't waste your time right now. Do whatever it is that you got going on to where you can feel different about getting into this, because yeah, it it's hard to tell you guys without you making the money. You know what I mean? Like this all is, it seems like make believe or what have you, but once you make the money, everything changes. right? You find time, okay? As a matter of fact, the money frees up some of your time in most cases, but you'll find the time, and then you'll start to say, "Oh man, okay, this is for real, and I need to be all in." So uh, we only start out with an hour a day, love, just an hour a day, okay?
Okay.
And
Thanks.
again, if you feel better in the morning doing it or the night, pick that. But just start 1 hour a day, and you won't believe. You'll look in the mirror, you won't believe who you turned out to be. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So yeah, Ro, give me more. What other question you got?
I don't have one.
You sure? All right. Nothing about the Discord. Nothing about trading. Nothing whatsoever. How to navigate this. What to do next. Anything.
Actually, I do. So, do you build off of each Sunday, or is a Sunday like, say, for instance, if we was to come on Sunday, next Sunday, it would be like totally different of like a whole new perspective, or is it like, no, I'm building on top of what I've already talked
Oh,
about?
Oh, absolutely. I will start where your weakness is. So again, the more new people I get, I just dedicate time to them because my veterans, they know what we do, right? On Sundays, we're just sharpening our skills on Sunday. Like we've learned everything. You know what I mean? So on Sundays, yes, I'm calling it training, but we're actually training to see that we're following our rules and we can see that we're still winning when we're getting into trades on Sundays, right? That's what it's mainly, that's what it's turned into because everybody's been with me so long, all the new stuff is, beyond them. You know what I mean? So if I get any new people, I'm going to dedicate that time on Sundays with training for getting you guys to learn the basics, and we'll just completely go through it. You know what I mean? And if you remember, some of the things that we left, that you uh, uh, study or learn before, then yeah, we can continue off of that. But if you still need the refresher on that, I'm going to go right back to it again until you get it. So yeah, if you ladies show up again for next Sunday, wherever you want to start off, we can start off there, or I can just put it in order because now I know that you guys are really getting yourself in the mix, and we'll just line it up right and just keep going through it until the light bulb comes on. And believe it or not, it comes on pretty quick. I mean, you ladies were on the money tonight. Like y'all was getting this stuff. It wasn't that difficult, and this is difficult stuff to most. You know what I mean? But y'all was like, nah, that's what this is. That's what that is. Okay, yeah, it's because of this, it's because of that. And it's just breaking your thought process. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all didn't know. So I'm just kind of, easing it all in. And it's forcing you guys to think, it's forcing you guys to be like, what the heck? But that's where, it's like your comfort zone. Once you become uncomfortable, right? That's where you flourish, right? Your comfort is not where you want to be. If you're comfortable all the time, you're not going to make any progress in anything. It's once you become uncomfortable, you got to do new things, you got to understand new stuff. Now you're making progress. So trust me, what you ladies did tonight is just the beginning. It's the beginning of the end for what y'all going to be doing, what y'all future is going to be like, right? Like this is just some real life-changing, touching stuff, guys. Y'all need to go read the testimonies on my site. I need to check out the videos on my page. Like y'all will see. Okay, these are real people. All right, and I'm pretty sure we all go through the same struggles. We all living in the States, most of us, but um we go through the same stuff. So it's not going to be too far-fetched of what you might be dealing with that somebody hasn't already gone through and persevered through, and now they're on the opposite side of the track. you know Guys, oh man, I don't want to cry. Okay, but listen, it's worth it. It's worth it, ladies. It's well worth it. I'm gonna tell you that. It's well worth it. So please just, continue as best you can. Again, I might not see you guys, but if you show up, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna show up. Okay. And even if I don't, I got plenty of archives for you guys to go through, and you know, that'll get you up to speed as well.
Thank you for your time.
You got it, Leonie. You got it. You have a great night. Ro, you done or what?
I'm done. I'm done for real.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. But again, ladies, I'm here, so you know, get at me the best way you can, and you know, I'm gonna show up. All right. But in the meantime, y'all have a great night, and hopefully see y'all next Sunday. All right.
Good night.
Thank you.
Peace. You got it.
Wanna get money? Wanna get paid? That's Forex. Like a sensei, then you know you gotta come and swing my way. And if you wanna fast forward, hit replay.